do you handle defeat as an entrepreneur? Let me begin by sharing with all of you a very personal story. When I was 18 years old, I got hired as a manager for a big painting company. Now, when I'm talking about painting company, I'm not talking about I'm the artist, I'm the manager for other artists. I'm talking about painting, houses, interior and exterior, construction business, okay? So I got hired as a manager. And as a manager for the painting company, my job is to canvassing on a daily basis, Monday through Thursday, 1 o'clock to 4 o'clock. And the goal as a manager is to go out to zip code that the company assigned us. And your job is to knock on doors and convince the client to give you an estimate to paint their house. And if you get the estimate, you come back over the weekend and give them an actual estimation of the house and try to close the deal. And then when you book enough jobs, then you have a production a few months during summertime. Summertime is when we actually paint the house, but before that, you have to get enough leads and knock on doors and eventually try to get as many jobs booked as possible. So I was one of the managers. I was 18 years old. And the name of the company that I worked for was called TASP International, TASP. It stands for AAA Student Painters, meaning they hire a bunch of students like us from college to work for them, learn how to paint, learn how to get leads, and learn how to sell. That's basically what it is. So I was third day on the job, and the first 1 or 2 days, it was okay. I knocked on a lot of doors, a lot of say no, and I met a lot of good people, and some gave me a yes and allowed me to come back over the weekend to do the actual estimate. So I still remember on the third day in January, the third day as a manager for that company, and I went to Silver Spring. We got dropped off, right, by the regional manager. They drop off all the managers in different area, and I was in Silver Spring. The road was Lay Hill Road. I still remember Lay Hill Road. Around the area has a lot of middle class houses, and I was doing what I usually do, you know, knock on doors and trying to get pumped up, excited, knock on different doors. And it was a cold day. One of the house I walk up to, I remember until today, after 20, I don't know, many years later, and I was knocking on the door, and one of this guy came up, okay? And he opened the door, he looked right at me. Before I even actually get to say my name, to introduce me, what I do, and trying to do my little script to try to get an estimate, this guy looked at me and he made some very bad racial statements, racial slurs. Right after that, he slammed the door on my face. And I was totally shocked. I was stood in front of the door for like 15 seconds. I don't know what to say. I was afraid. I got a big defeat. Big failure. It was humiliating. My name got called out. So for the rest of the day, I did not knock on any more doors. I was sitting on the corner of one of the street nearby and just sit there. I wasn't feeling good. As a matter of fact, I was kind of depressed. And until the regional manager picked all of the managers around the area, pick us up and drop us back home. And that night, I didn't talk much. I didn't feel well. And of course, one of the things that always inspired me is when I get to see my mom and talk to my mom. You see, my dad passed away when I was 15 years old. For those of you who's been following my videos, you know my story already. And my mom always give me the inspiration somehow to do the things that I don't want to do. And I look at my mom, and I was always concerned about my mom, how she's able to raise up 3 kids. And after the husband passed away, which is my dad passed away, I was always concerned about how can I make a little bit more money to support her. You know, at that moment, I just had to say to myself, look, man, you know, my dreams, you know, is my dream bigger than my fear, or is my fear bigger than my dream? Is my dream bigger than my defeat, or my defeat is really that big to defeat my dream? Is my failure, it's really that big? Is my defeat that big that can actually knock me out and forget about my dream? So the next day, I forced myself get back to the ring, get back to the field and knocking on doors again. And going on for the next few months, I booked a lot of jobs, locking a lot of estimates, and from estimate turned into sales and booking a job over the summer. I had a very successful summer the first year as a painting manager. I became the top 5 sales manager in that company, and I won my Bahama trips and all that thing. That was my first real experience as an entrepreneur at the age of 18 years old. So how do you handle defeat as an entrepreneur? The way you handle defeat as an entrepreneur is to make sure you get back to the ring. immediately. Not a week later, not 5 months later, immediately, because the moment you let defeat conquer your dream, conquer your positive imagination, you will slow down. You won't want to do it again because you're going to be afraid. And the more you drag on, the more you don't get back to the ring, get back to the field, get back to your appointment, get back to the next phone call, you're going to eventually quit. That one incident was a defining moment for me as an entrepreneur. If that night I did not clear my doubts and get back to the ring the next day to knock on doors again, guess what? I wouldn't be here talking to you today. I certainly would not get into the insurance business at the age of 21 years old. I would quit as an entrepreneur totally, because that one major defeat can literally stop me being an entrepreneur for the rest of my life. To handle your defeat as an entrepreneur, get back to the ring immediately. JW here. Take care. JW here. If you like my content, comment below and download my JW Just Win app. See you next time.